Is November 27th, 2024. The current time is 12:50 in the p.m. Eastern Standard Time. S&P 500 still hasn't hit the low that I thought it would, or potentially, or better entry anyway. I think I said 59.25 or something this morning, or something like that. Let's see. Well, I'm sure I can tell. Well, I got it clear on my screen. Yeah, 59.35 is what I said this morning. That's the bottom of the average daily range. And I did say that you are overextended to the upside, overbought, which I excuse me, I didn't see a huge potential for rejection, but I also didn't see any possible realistic to the upside movement. But right now, what has made some support as of this moment in time is the -2 deviation from the anchored VWAP on the 1 minute, 1 day chart. Since that's made some support, then a lot of time first attempt at that, then it'll make some support. It's pretty unanimous with potential for reversal, for a bounce. I wasn't watching it when I go. Of course, I had other stuff I had to do. Got personal errands and stuff, so I wasn't watching it. And then my alert also went off for crude also when I go to the lower side. And that's what I mentioned this morning was 68.22 was potential for decent entry. My alert went off at 68.32. I think that's where I had it set at. And of course, I was busy at that time. But you can see how that 68.22 has made some support. So this whole theory of what I have for where I'm at off the night before, what the heck? Like that's you can't get much more precise than that. Whether it holds up now or not, I don't know. I never do. For all I know, a bad news catalyst has come out for crude oil. If a bad news catalyst has come out, that always takes precedence. But I don't focus. I don't laser focus on this type of stuff and pay attention to it all day long. And any news event that comes out on it, I don't do that because I don't see the appeal of that unless he's actually actively trading it and wanting to make sure that that's all the hell you traded. Which in theory, that's a good idea too, because if you're trading one equity, one ticker, one futures contract, whether it's gold, silver, platinum, crude, onion futures, then you can have more dominance over that one thing for a month or two or whatever. The S&P 500 is always one of my favorites because it's more easy to track and it's more reliable on reversals and stuff. That's why I track it so much, and I could give a crap less about the NASDAQ or the Dow or anything like that. It's rare that I actually try to pay attention to those. But I just put some more proof in the pudding right there of what I said, this morning, way before this ever even actually tagged. I was 1 penny off. I hate to be, braggadocious or whatever, but 1 penny off. Come on now. It's just one of those things where algorithms, they see that the night before. The way I do the math on this and how I'm fairly accurate sometimes and sometimes anyway, like any major news event takes precedence. It always does. But if it's like a slow news day or before Thanksgiving holiday where a lot of people are going home, a lot of people turn the algos off, they're just letting the market run or do its thing, then you probably won't get a whole lot of movement either direction. But still, whether that held up or not or whatever, it went. It attempted to. The next attempt, if it comes down to 68.22 again, that's the third attempt, and it might go lower. Usually the way it goes is the first attempt is your better attempt to go up, and that wasn't massive potential move. The second attempt, it didn't garner more support after that. So to me, it looks like it's going to break down more. So, but anyway, like calling out, like where the hell algorithms might buy it up at if you're potentially thinking short this morning, which I I'm always thinking on the short side, but it don't matter if the market is like pulled way the hell back. I'm still like, oh, it's going to crater, it's going to tank, it's going to be pandemonium. It's going to be like the um, new Great Depression. You know, that's the way I'm always thinking, because this stuff is so predictable so much of the time. Whether I mean, it does look piss poor right now, but if it wants to continue to, or if it does try it again, then I think it's more or less bearish. And basically, and the way that I always do the math on this, the the first attempt is your best attempt, and after that, you can throw this out the window. It no longer holds precedence, especially when it's from the night before. Only time when it actually holds up any precedence is whenever I do it before earnings. That's the only time it has like any more weight, like through the next 3 months, 90 days, whatever you want to call it. That's the only time when it actually has any weight for longer term. But when I do it the night before for a futures contract, it's the first attempt. That's it. It has no more weight whatsoever on it. But it did show me, though, if I was, Monday morning quarterbacking this, whenever it got picked back up again, and it hit the bottom of average daily range. So that's, as people that's trying to suppress it still, the bottom average daily range got tagged here and rejected. That's algorithms and certain entities still attempting to sequester this to pull it back down. If it was going to be a massive breakout, then it would have went way above that, of course. And crude kind of sucks too. It don't get played with as much as like the S&P 500 does. So even though I can kind of gauge it sometimes and sometimes not, it really ultimately don't matter, I guess, on crude. But I'll try again on something else pretty soon. That is pretty slick that my alert did go off, and it was technically a buy entry. I'll have to look it up on my phone exactly when that text message came through. It's 12:02. It was right here. Is that one where my alert came in? Next one, if I was actually here at the computer, then that one shows mostly bullish, mostly buy, and then it flips to be mostly bullish. So I would have probably took an entry there. Whenever it showed up as being need to exit your positions right here, so try and get out as high as possible in one of these is what you'd have to be aiming for. Kind of sucks that it didn't get a good push after that. I mean that's the way it goes though. But it does show that people are still trying to force it down. So it kind of is what it is. That day before Thanksgiving holiday is usually slow, and I mean it's gonna be kind of fluid and stuff. So trying to maximize profit through there, which I think this does me no good whatsoever. It's 23 cents. It's $10 per 1 cent, so 10 times 23, whatever that is. It's like $230. So not an especially huge amount of money you can possibly make right there from one contract. But hell, if you want to do that just once or twice a day, make $460 in a day. That ain't bad money. But I'd rather go for higher end plays, whether it's to the downside or to the upside, and that was to the downside. That's what I thought it could possibly bounce at. I can't remember what I marked off for this morning, what the absolute bottom could be. I'd have to go back and see that video, but I don't know that one actually hold up or not. You're getting into -2 deviation right now. Same thing that the S&P 500 did. Yeah, same thing the S&P 500 did. Got a -2 deviation, it went up from there. So crude is about to do the same exact thing. Meh. Oh, yeah, I guess I'll upload this one. 10 minutes. It's amazing how quickly time goes by just jaw jacking to yourself. Alright, if this actually helped anybody out, which I doubt it does, probably just you, Drizzle. So, I'll talk to y'all later. Goodbye.